Canada's Auditor General says the F-35 fighter jet program is proving far more costly than planned.
The United States has cautioned Canada against backing out of its purchase of American-made F-35 fighter jets, warning it of potential fallout if the deal is scrapped.
Ottawa is sticking to its plan to buy Lockheed's F-35 fighter jets. So last week, Prime Minister Mark Carney ordered a review of Canada's contract to buy 88 F-35 fighter jets.
No one on either side of the border saw this coming. Not the policy teams in Washington, not the senior advisors inside Ottawa, and not the military analysts who believed Canada's next-generation air strategy was already locked in. Just when it seemed Canada's future fighter path had finally settled into predictability, a single move from Sweden cut through the noise and sent an unexpected shockwave through NATO decision-makers, quietly unsettling the United States and forcing Canada to reconsider an entire decade of defense planning. This wasn't a ceremonial visit nor a diplomatic courtesy call. It arrived with the force of a strategic ambush, direct, confident, and disruptive enough to make policymakers acknowledge a reality they didn't expect to face: the balance of air power across the North Atlantic, maybe shifting far faster than previously imagined. For years, Canada's fighter replacement program has been stuck in a cycle of delays, reviews, political resets, and half-steps. The F-35 remained the predictable contender, expensive, complex, and heavily controlled, but familiar enough to feel inevitable. Then, with almost no warning, Sweden stepped into the conversation with a proposal that instantly changed the trajectory of the debate. Not a small adjustment, not a marginal alternative, a fully transformative offer. That promised Canadian production, Arctic-ready performance, deep technology access, and economic benefits extending far beyond defense. Suddenly, the conversation was no longer about comparing two aircraft. It became a national discussion about sovereignty, industrial revival, and whether Canada could reclaim a degree of independence that had not existed in its air strategy for generations. The Swedish delegation arrived with almost unusual quiet. No cameras, no staged announcement, but the document they placed on the table reset the tone of the entire meeting. Instead of a basic procurement plan, they proposed giving Canada full authority to assemble and co-produce the Gripen E at home, with unrestricted access to maintenance systems and mission software, electronic warfare tools, and independent upgrade capability stretching across decades. In that instant, the question shifted. It was no longer which fighter is better. It became, how much control does Canada want over its future? For decades, Canada has depended heavily on foreign contractors to maintain and update its fighter software, with key decisions often requiring outside approval. But Sweden's offer nearly eliminates that dependence. Canada would not simply operate an aircraft. It would help build it, shape it, and expand its technology ecosystem from within. This alone has the potential to alter the way Ottawa approaches defense planning for an entire generation. And behind the strategic independence lies another factor, that no Canadian government can ignore: domestic economic impact. While the F-35 program offers limited industrial participation and tightly restricted technology access, Sweden's approach is fundamentally different. It hands over full technology transfer, keeps operational control in Canadian hands, creates long-term skilled employment, and establishes permanent production and innovation hubs. Thousands of high-tech jobs could emerge across provinces: Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, British Columbia, all contributing to a new aerospace pillar with export potential woven into the long-term plan. For many analysts, this sounds like the closest Canada has come to a new Avro Arrow moment, not a nostalgic retelling, but a genuine opportunity to rebuild domestic capability in a world where technological independence is becoming critical. But economic benefits are only one dimension. Canada's Arctic is entering an era of renewed tension. Melting ice is opening new marine corridors, and Russia continues expanding its military presence in the far north, turning the region into a front line for global competition. In this environment, Canada needs a fighter that can operate far from major bases in brutal cold, with fast turnaround times and minimal maintenance support. The Gripen E was designed in a climate not far removed from Canada's own. It can launch from short, frozen airstrips, rearm and refuel quickly, and return to the sky faster than many Western platforms. It is a decision between two futures, one dependent and one defined by autonomy, innovation, and the rebuilding of national capability. Sweden hasn't merely joined the discussion, it has rewritten it. The Gripen E is no longer an outsider. It is a contender that forces every stakeholder to rethink old assumptions. If you're following this developing story and want more verified coverage on Canada's evolving defense strategy, consider subscribing to Maple States. Your support helps us continue delivering clear, factual reporting.